Hello, my name is Luca, and I'm a graduate of the Master's in Business Administration program 2015. And I work very closely with Dr. Field, who taught me everything I needed to know to be successful in case competitions. I'm here today to tell you about three things that worked well and three things that did not work well when we did case competitions, so that you don't have to make the same mistakes that I did. Before we get into that, though, I want to tell you a little bit about my story. And when I went into the MBA program, I didn't come from a background in business. It was new to me. And so I think very similar to where you are today, I had no idea what a case competition was. I didn't know the rules. I didn't know how you did one, how you prepared for one, or how you got good at it. But over the 2 years, I had a number of opportunities. I sort of got pushed into it by some friends and peers in the program. And I did have a half a dozen case competitions, and collectively at the end of it, we won pretty close to $8,000 in winnings, which was a nice reward. But it was very interesting to me, and in some ways, it's even shaped my career coming out of the program. So the three things that worked really well when we did case competitions. Number one was practicing the presentation. So practice, practice, practice. Everyone thinks they're a great speaker, but when you step in front of a judging panel and you've got to deliver a really convincing argument in a short amount of time, it can be a lot of pressure. So make sure that, whatever you need to do, script out what you want to say, put it on cue cards, practice by yourself, practice in front of others, practice that presentation at least twice before you get up on stage or wherever you're presenting. The number two thing that worked really, really well is do your research. You have to be the expert in the room in some ways. And so if you know the topic of the case competition, read in and around that topic. And if you don't know the topic, make sure you're doing some research into, what makes an effective presentation? How do you visualize data? What's the difference between a bar gram and a histograph? Now, the third thing, and this is the most important thing that worked really well, is asking for feedback. So typically judges will kind of write up notes on your presentation. At the end of the competition, you'll get those notes. Well, read them. Try to understand where they're coming from. If you don't get them, ask if you can speak to a judge for feedback. Ask your team members for feedback on how they think you did and where you could improve. Ask your professors or anyone you think that might be relevant. Asking for feedback is one of the hardest skills I had to learn, but it certainly was one of the most effective ways to get good. Now, the three things you should not do. Don't treat it like a social club. People put a lot of time and energy into case competitions, so be on time, be prepared, be ready to engage your team, be professional. Don't treat it like a social club. Number two thing not to do, never get comfortable. If the competition's on your home turf, or if you think you're familiar with the topic, or you think your team is already the best, it was always those times I felt the most confident that we did poorly. So never let yourself get comfortable, and always put in the hard work that you're going to need to be successful. The third thing not to do, and this one is also the most important, is don't think you can't. I never saw myself being involved in case competitions, and I had a couple friends pull me in as a bit of a push, but at the end of it, I really enjoyed it. And students self-select out of all sorts of experiences because they think, that's not for me. The pressure might be too great. They're not sure about the teamwork or the time commitment, but really don't think you can. You absolutely can. You will be great at it, and you will learn so much from doing it. So those are my things you should do and should not do. Good luck, enjoy, and bye.